Good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing on this beautiful Wednesday? I pray all is well. I pray that your morning gotten off to an amazing start. But if not, hit that reset button and simply start all over again. I don't know what you woke up to. I don't know the phone call you may have received. I don't know the text you may have received. I don't even know the knock that came to you this morning. But we're going to rejoice in spite of, no matter what. So many people are facing struggles, troubles, just issues of life. And even in the holidays, they don't know how to rejoice. They don't know how to be happy. They don't know how to turn off their pain. You know, they have a lot of what they call smart objects where you can clap your hands and your light comes on. Clap your hands, the light will go off. Clap your hands, your TV will come on. But there's no clap on devices that turns off pain, that turns off hurt. God is the only one that can give us joy, that can give us peace, that can give us hope for tomorrow. Many people are hopeless today. They have given up. They have stopped looking for the promises of God. They have just thrown in the towel. They have gotten weary in well-doing. But I want you to get your hope back today. See, I can talk this way because I've been there. Where I felt left out, overlooked, forgotten about. I felt like doors was being opened for others and doors was just being closed for me. Can I just take a few moments just to encourage you that there is a season and a time for everything. You may be in your season of wait. You may be in your season of lack. You may be in your season of being in the wilderness. But just know God has not forgotten about you. It's just not your season. I'm not going to tell you that it feels good when you watch others, even those that have done you wrong, even those that have mistreated you, those that have lied on you and talked about you and slandered your name, those that have had others to turn against you. It seems like they are prospering. But God says people prosper in their own way. A lot of times people prosper and He has nothing to do with it. So we can't get caught up in who's doing what and what they got and this and that and the other. God have you where you are for a reason. He is preparing what is for you. But you just got to be willing to be patient and to wait. Again, I can't tell you that is easy. Someone else may come around and tell you that it's easy. Everybody's testimony is different. I don't know how to be anything but real and authentic and tell you it's not going to be easy. Because a delayed promise, it makes the heart sick. The heart gets tired of waiting. The heart gets tired of being patient. The heart gets tired of hearing it's going to come. The heart gets tired of hearing it's right around the corner. The heart gets tired of hearing you're next in line. But I encourage you to continue to wait even in those moments. I don't care if it's 10 years. Oftentimes it is. Wait anyway. I don't care if it's been 20 years. Oftentimes it has been, wait anyway. Because it's going to be worth the wait. Sometimes we get anxious when we see others going before us and we want what they have and we want to be able to do what they do. But you don't know the sorrow that's behind them being able to do what they do and have what they have. You don't know what they go through when they close those doors and close the blinds. You don't know the tears that they cry because they're burdened down. You don't know. They may be physically tired in their bodies, but they can't miss a day of work. But you have peace. You don't know what they're going through to try to keep a hold of what they have because they don't want the neighbors to see the repo man repoing the vehicle. You don't know what they're going through. You're just focusing on what they have, but you don't know what they're doing to keep it. You don't know the sleepless nights. You don't know the headache. You don't know the anxiety. You don't know. I pray something was said thus far that would just encourage you to be content where you are, where God have you. Just learn to be content, because God knows when you are ready to handle more. He said, if you just be faithful, what appears to be small, I'm going to put you over more. I'm going to give you more. But first I need to know, can I trust you with just a little? See, now he's testing your heart posture. Now he's seeing where your heart is. Is your heart for him? Or is your heart for the things that he can give you? A lot of people's hearts is going to be tested in this season. And God is going to see who is for him and who is just for stuff and things. Many people say, I trust him, but they have never been in a position where they had to simply trust him. We're going to talk about that today in today's devotional. The title is Stand Firm. Stand firm. I thank God for those that comes on, those that simply stop by, those that just kind of stick their head in the door, that are saying it's almost at the end of 2023. I hope I don't have to see her again in 2024. And those that will come on after, I thank God for you. I pray that you're able to come all the way in the room. I pray that you're able to stay until the end. But if not, God bless you anyway. I'm just grateful this morning that God allowed me to see another day. I'm grateful this morning. I pray that you had an amazing Christmas. I pray for those that was able to celebrate with family, those that still have family intact. That's a blessing, because so many families now is no longer family. They're struggling in the family. There's division in the family. There's separation in the family. And holidays are just not holidays anymore. They're just not celebrated anymore. So if you was able to come together and be with family, be thankful. Because so many people celebrated. If they celebrated it alone. So just don't take it for granted, is what I'm saying. Don't take it for granted. Don't take family for granted. Because God, in his word, he spoke of how families, where there would be trouble in family, mother against daughter, son against father, etc., etc. Is that not what you're seeing today? Is that not what you're seeing today? I'm going to get on into the devotional and get on out your way. Just get on out your way. God is good. God is good. I was listening to a young lady on, I think it was yesterday, and she was giving her testimony. She was saying how she was preparing herself to go spend the holiday with family. You know, that's a tradition. That's something she's always done. She said, and the Holy Spirit instructed her not to go. I don't know if anyone else experienced that, where God said, don't go. Many of us, God is doing a new thing. Tradition is no longer tradition. And we have to be in a place where we see what God is doing and how God is moving. Many of his children, those that are truly following him, he have them in isolation. Either he has allowed people to go their way for a season, because there are some things that he needs you to be before him. And you don't understand what's going on. You don't know exactly what's happening in your life. Look around. Look around. So much is going on in the world, and people are just going as if there hasn't been any changes. Well, there's a few of us that he's calling into isolation, because he needs to prepare us for what's to come. And while others is out just living life, there's a few of us he's saying, I need you to shut yourself in. I need you to pull away. I need you not to be available. I need you to limit your time on your phone, on social media. Because there are some things coming and you need to know how to move. It's preparation time. Some, God is trying to get their attention to do so, but they're too connected to the world that they're going to miss out on instructions, unfortunately. But she said she had prepared herself to go spend time with family, but she was instructed not to, so she didn't go. She just made phone calls and just spoke with them that way, and God gave her a word. See, God was preparing her to give a word for those of us that are still in that season of trying to figure out what's going on. What's happening? Why was this allowed? Why did this happen? Why am I not included? Why wasn't I invited? Why wasn't I a part of? God is moving. Don't you miss the movement. Don't miss the movement. The title of today's devotional is Stand Firm. Stand firm. There's some things that are going to happen, and you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going to follow him, or are you going to follow the world? Are you going to follow tradition? Are you going to follow his lead? Are you going to continue to do what you used to do? Are you going to follow him? Many are going to be tested, because it's easy to say you trust him when you haven't been in a position where you really had to trust him. I shared a testimony with a young lady that I followed. She was in the corporate world, had a good job, And God told her, instructed her to come follow him. Just as he did to some of those that had jobs, had corporate jobs, good paying jobs, jobs that came with influence. He said, come follow me. Let that go. Come follow me. There are some God has been asking to come follow him. And because that's not normal to the world, it's a struggle to leave the corporate world. It's hard to give up and walk away from what's familiar. It's hard not to be concerned about what family members and friends are going to say when God is saying, follow him. But God would never ask you and I to leave something if he's not willing to give you something greater. See, when Peter was out there fishing, he was a professional. But there came a point where the fish was no longer biting. It didn't take away from him being a professional. But when God speaks to your environment has to obey. It didn't say, at least I don't remember reading where it said God had spoke to the fish. I'm just going to tell you the fish was no longer biting. But the moment God said, come follow me, the moment God told him to cast your net in this direction, the Bible said he had so much fish, the boat began to sink. It's something about when you just move when he tells you to move, go when he tells you to go. He said, I'm a professional. This is what I do. You know how we do. I work in the corporate world. I'm in my lane. I have influence here. I have an image to uphold. I can't walk off this good paying job. So God will start messing with your environment. It said they was out there all night trying to catch fish. Remember, he was a professional. Out there toiling, trying to make it work. Remember, there's an image. He's a professional fisherman. Now you're going to go back and you have no fish? Can you imagine what the people will be saying? Oh, I thought you was a professional. I thought you was, did you know how we do? But Jesus walked up on the scene and he said, cast your nets over here. And when he obeyed, he received more for his obedience. A young lady, God told her to leave her corporate job. There was some pushback. There was some question. There was some hesitation. She was worried about friends. She was worried about family. She was worried about influence. She was wondering what she was going to do next. She had a son. But God started messing with her environment. And I think instead of her quitting the job, she lost the job. But God still blessed her. It's all about obedience. We got to get away from trying to please one another. We got to get away from trying to be accepted and approval of one another. Because God is going to tell you and I to do some things that's going to cause conflict, that's going to cause question, that's going to cause judgment. Are you in that place where you would just simply trust him no matter what? No matter who come up against you? We're not saying it's going to be easy. But God is going to give you everything you need to simply stand. He told Noah to build that ark. They was making fun of him. You're making an ark for what? It hasn't even rained here in this X amount of years. God will have you to do some things that it looks foolish to the world. But he said he will use the foolish things of the world to do what he need done in the world. So you may look foolish resigning from that corporate job. You may look foolish leaving a certain group. You may look foolish, but obey God. Because God knows how to shut the mouth of those that just simply don't understand. Noah didn't allow the noise, the chatter, the ridicule, the persecution. He didn't allow that to stop him because he had got instructions from God to build the ark. See, God knows what's to come. And he is saying to prepare. Who knows, that corporate job may not be there. And because you didn't prepare, because you didn't obey, now you are jobless. So Noah simply obeyed. I'm sure it wasn't easy. Because you got your friends and your families making mockery, talking about you, judging you. It doesn't feel good. But keep building anyway. Leave anyway. Let go of it anyway. Walk away from it anyway. Whatever God is instructing you to do, it's going to be for your good. And when that rain, when that storm came, those that made fun, those that were judging, those that were laughing, those that was pointing the finger, those that were saying, look at him, they look like a fool. They were swept away. They were lost. They wasn't prepared. Don't let that be you. Let me get into this and get on out the way. Stand firm. Reference scripture, 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. Stand firm. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. If God told you to stand, that's what you do. God told you to go, that's what you do. God told you to walk away from, that's what you do. Always give yourself fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. Have you gotten weary in well-doing? Have you gotten to a place where you just said, enough is enough? Have you gotten to that place where you just said, I'm tired of doing good because there's no payoff? There's no immediate reward. Hang on in there. Hang on in there. Many believers feel called to do certain things to serve God or to help other people. They may be called to ministry as a profession. Did he not do it in the Bible? There was physicians, professional fishermen. There were tax collectors. These are people that made good money. He said, follow me. I'll make your name great. I'll put you in rooms that you do not qualify for. Meaning you didn't have to go to college for it. You don't need a PhD. But you qualify because I have qualified you. Or they may also be called to honor God and help others in various other professions or in ways that not involve a career. It may not, God may be calling you into a place of influence that you're not going to get a man-made certificate for or a man-made license for, but you qualified for it. They try to do what they believe they should do, but find that the right opportunities never come along for them. Have you ever been there? Where you've tried this and you've tried that. You open this business, you close that business. You went to school for this, you went to school for that. You tried this out, you tried that out, and it seemed nothing worked. Doors that need to open for them seem to stay shut. Have you been there? Where it just looked like no matter what you did, the doors kept closing. And the people that don't know say, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? You ain't trying hard enough. See, when God is calling you to be a fisherman, a man, when God is calling you to simply follow him, he messes with your environment. Let me continue on. I don't know if anybody even understanding me this morning. I believe one reason this happened to people is that they are able but not stable. In other words, they have the skills and gifts they need, but they do not have the maturity, the maturity, character, or emotional stability that will be required to do what they feel called to do. Sometimes you just don't feel it. God has equipped you, but because of your past, because of where you came from, because of what you've gotten yourself into, because of all the mistakes you made, you just don't feel qualified. You don't feel worthy. You don't feel like you have what it takes to be a follower of Christ. Because you have been condemned by others, you've also condemned yourself. You don't feel qualified. You don't feel like that you have enough going on in your life to follow Christ. You don't feel like you have certain criteria. You don't feel like you have a master. You don't have a PhD. You don't feel qualified. But I come to let you know that God will call you and you won't need a PhD. You won't need a master. Why? Because he is your PhD. He is your master. In today's scriptures, Paul urges the Corinthians to stand firm and to let nothing move them. Let nothing, no one move you. I know it's going to be tough not moving like the world, looking like the world, doing as the world do. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. It's going to be a fight. There's going to be those that's going to come up against you with familiar faces. That's going to tell you that ain't God. God ain't telling you to do that. Because they want you to move how they moving. And some people don't want to see greatness in your life. So as long as you continue to disobey God, you'll stay where they are. You'll continue to toil. You'll continue to toil for things that God is saying, I'll just give you. But because the world says to toil for it, because the world says to have sleepless nights to have it, because the world said break your body down to obtain it, when God said, I want to just give it to you. My Lord. Let nothing move them. This means they are to be strong and to remain committed to what they know is right and refuse to allow difficulties or perplex to make them doubt their calling or stray from what they need to do. You got to stand firm. You got to trust God. Stop trying to trace him and just trust him. Stop trying to move what's pleasing to man and the world. God didn't come to make us comfortable. He come to fulfill a mission. We all are on an assignment here. But we have gotten so attached to the world until a lot of assignment is going to be passed to someone else. Because someone is saying, listen, I'm in corporates. I'm at the top of the ladder. I tell people what to do. I walk in with my white, blue, or black jacket. I make important phone calls. I sit at the desk. Nothing happens without my approval. My Lord. And God may be saying, I need you to follow me. I need you to follow me. I need you to be fishermen of men, not a fisherman of influence. I need you to follow me. Are you so connected to the things of the world that you won't follow him? If you are eager to serve God and others, but feel you keep running into roadblocks. Let me read that again. If you are eager to serve God and others, but you feel you keep running into roadblocks, you should ask God to help you stand firm and to let nothing move you. He wants you to fulfill his call. We all have a calling on our lives. But unfortunately, some calls will not be fulfilled by us because we're too connected to the world. That's the reason why he said be in the world and not of the world. Just be in it. When you of it, you're too connected to it that you won't hear his voice. You will only hear the voice of the world that's saying, do it this way. Do it that way. Get this degree. Get that degree. And I'm not against degrees. God isn't either. But when he says follow him, that degree doesn't matter. That certificate does not matter. Your influence does not matter. Your great name does not matter. He wants to fulfill his call. that's on your life. And he wants you to enjoy doing it. There are so many people that are just on these jobs because of the money. They're tired of it. They're sick of it. They're broke down in their bodies. Their feet hurt. Their knee hurt. Their back hurt. Every time they pull in the parking lot, they're frustrated. But they continue to toil because they want to look like the norm. They don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. They don't want to be talked about or judged. So they decide to continue to toil because it's much easier. And it's much more comfortable. I don't know what God is calling you from this morning. I don't know what he's been tugging at your heart to leave, to walk away from, to set aside. But whatever it is, obey God. In his word, he said, obedience is better than a sacrifice. Because you sacrifice when you don't obey. He will see to it. He will see to it. Being disobedient comes with a price. See, had the young lady just obeyed God when God said to leave the job that he had blessed her with in the beginning, everything belongs to him, she would not have lost the job. But because it was a good paying job, excellent insurance, she couldn't see leaving the job because she knew it was going to come with backlash from those that she loved. But after she lost the job, she began to obey God. Now she is a fisherman of men. She's not in the corporate world. She's not working a 9-to-5. She is simply employed by God, who is taking care of her in the way that the world could never. And she says she has more than she's ever had when she was working a 9-to-5. So if you just trust in God and move how God is telling you to move, he's going to bless you with more than you could have ever imagined. You may say, well, she took a chance. That was a gambling. She was gambling. She was playing Russian roulette. But look at her now. Look at the results of her obedience now. I would have hated to even think what could have happened had she not simply obeyed God. One thing I tell you, she's not toiling anymore. She don't have the sleepless nights anymore. She's not working overtime, tearing her body down anymore. God is her employer, and she's well taken care of. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. But when God started messing and interfering with her environment, just as he did Peter, a professional fisherman, and the fisherman wasn't biting. The fish didn't care that he was a professional. See, when God steps on the scene, he'll cause everything to cease. People that used to love you now be talking about you. When those that used to be for you is now against you, he'll start messing with your environment. When God is trying to elevate you, when God is trying to get you to move, when God is trying to get you to come higher, things will start happening and you'll begin to say, what is going on? What's wrong with such and so? We used to be cool. Now he's acting or she acting out of character. Things will just start happening that won't make any sense. You can't put your finger on it nor your feet until you get to the point where you just say, Lord, look, I don't know what you're doing, but I know you're doing something. I know you're messing with my environment. Where I used to be comfortable, I'm no longer comfortable. I'm aggravated. I'm frustrated. Lord, what are you doing? He's saying it's time to move. It's time to go. It's time to come up higher. I'm trying to elevate you. I'm trying to get you in rooms that you don't think that you deserve to be in. I'm trying to give you influence that you don't know that you have. But I need you to let go of the things that have made you comfortable. And I need you to follow me. You won't have to toil. You won't have to lose sleep. You won't have to tear your body down. You won't have to go out of your way to do things that you really don't want to do, but because you need the money, you need the insurance. You compromise your integrity. You agree and okay things that you know is wrong because you need the money. You need the insurance. But it's something down on the inside is saying, I know God is not pleased. I know he's not happy with me being okay with this and okay with that. It's time for me to go. God is trying to elevate you. In the Bible, Job lost everything. But God gave him double for his trouble. See, people is worried about, too concerned about man. They don't want the blessings of the Lord. Because it comes with sticking out like a sore thumb. It comes with being asked to leave that corporate job. It comes with him telling you, instructing you to leave family. It comes with him telling you to leave a church that you have been going to for years since a child. And build your platform. Not many are willing. What is God asking you to do? What is God asking you to let go of or walk away from? What is God telling you to start? What is he instructing you to stop? And you're saying, that's easier said than done, but you better do it. Obedience is better than a sacrifice. Trying to impress and trying to gain the approval of the world, you'll never get the approval of the world. You'll lose your soul trying to be approved and accepted by the world. And I don't know about you. I love you, but I'm not going to hell for you. That's not going to happen. So if God have you in a season and you don't understand, what's going on. He have you in a place where you feel like you're jeopardizing everything. You're in a season where it seems like he's asking you to give up an awful lot. But you don't know what he's doing behind the scene. You don't know what doors he's getting ready to swing open. You don't know the phone call you're about to receive. You don't know the text. You don't know the email. But it's going to come with you being obedient. It's going to come with you trusting him. It's easy to say you trust him until he tells you to let go of that. Walk away from that. Just as he did the man in the Bible. He had plenty. Actually, he had more than he would ever use. Some people got more than they will ever use. But if God told them just give some of it away, they won't even do it. If God tell them go and bless such and such a so-and-so with $10, they won't even do it. God, he said, what? The man asked, what do I need to do to make it in? Be careful asking that question because God will give you an answer. What must I do? God began to tell him, obey thy mother and thy father. He gave other instructions. He said, oh, I've done that. I mean, you got to, listen, you need to come up with something else I ain't did. Now God going straight to the heart. He said, sell your stuff. Sell your stuff. And then give it to the poor. Those that has never been where you are. You've been there. So you know what it's like to have. But give it to those that have never experienced that. The Bible says, I didn't say it, I'm just repeating it. The Bible said, he walked away sorrowful. He said, that's just something I can't do. I don't care who haven't experienced it. They want to experience it on my dollar. He walked away. He didn't understand God was saying, I got more for you. I got more in store for you. That's going to supersede what I'm asking you to give away, to let go of. I want to know that it's me that you desire. I want to know that it's me that you love. That he walked away sorrowful. What are you holding on to? And God is asking you to simply follow me. Trust me. Believe in me. Have hope in me. I got your back. He didn't understand. God was testing his heart. Where is your heart today? What is your heart connected to today? Is it your job? Is it your career? Is it your money? Is it your honey? Is it your children? Is it your influence? Is it your title? What? Who will keep you from following God? That will stop you from simply obeying him. What's hindering you? What's got your heart to the point to where you're saying, I'll just simply walk away sorrowful? I'm not going to give. I'm not going to share. I'm not going to help. I'm not going to support. Give is out the question. But God may be testing your heart. I'm going to read what I wrote. Who did Jesus call out to follow him? To learn from him and to obey his words and to identify themselves with his cause, not ours, not the world, his cause. It was Peter and Andrew. They were professional fishermen. That's how they made their living. See, even in the Bible, there were things that people did that was for their living. It's no different from us. So God understands. But it's all about your heart posture. Peter and Andrew were professional fishermen. That's how they made their living. Matthew was a tax collector. Now, you know he made money. He was overcharging folks and just doing all kind of crooked stuff. John, he was a fisherman by trade. Luke was a fisherman, but he didn't come on that physician. Now, you know he made good money, but he didn't come on until he didn't follow Jesus until after his death. Unfortunately, some would not follow Christ until certain things and events and shakings and interruptions take place. Unfortunately, it's going to take some people's job closing. It's going to take certain things that they have depended on. It's going to take God to shake those things up. It's going to take what used to be available, no longer available, to shake some people up. But there was a few people, Peter, Andrew, Matthew, and John. He just said, come follow me. Come follow me. Don't worry about nothing. Don't concern yourself with nothing. You're not going to have to toil. You're not going to have to beat yourself up. You're not going to have to beat yourself down. You're not going to have to destroy your body. Just come follow me. Luke was a little, apprehensive. He said, listen, I'm a physician. I'm going to have to wait. I got to see how things is going to turn out for those that didn't ask any question, but they just obeyed and followed him. So you're going to have those that's reluctant, and that's okay. God knows how to get your attention. He knows what he needs to touch. He knows what he needs to blow on. He will shake up your environment. But some of us is being called early on to follow him, to take up our nets, to let go of what we are used to follow him, to let go of what we thought to follow him, to let go of what the world thinks to follow him. Are you courageous to let go and walk away from what's familiar and what the world identifies and deems is right and normal to follow him? Are you in that place where you say, I got to go? It's time for me to move on. I have compromised my integrity for money, for influence, for benefits, but I know it didn't please God. It is easy to say you trust him until you have to really trust him. Have you been there? Where you simply had to trust him. There was another part I wanted to read. I don't know, maybe I didn't. Okay, I didn't read it all. To learn from him and to obey his words and to identify themselves with his cause. Now, listen good. Now, there can be no following without a previous forsaking. Some things you got to forsake. Some things you're going to have to leave behind. Some things you're not going to be able to be a part of. It's not going to come without previous forsaking. To follow Christ is to renounce all lesser loyalties, things that you used to be loyal to. God is saying, let it go. God is saying, release it. God is saying, I have more in store for you. Will you trust him? Will you be more loyal to him than those things that will perish? Are you willing to forsake some things to follow him? In the days, hold on. In the days when he lived among men on earth, this meant a literal abandonment of home and work. God may be asking you to move away from what's familiar, to move away from what you're used to. Sometimes we be around family and we get so dependent upon family. God doesn't want us to depend on no one but him. And that's the season he have me in. I don't have no one to call on. You may say, well, Yolanda, you got an awful big family. That's okay. It's still family. You can have a big family, but that don't mean you can call on them. That don't mean you can depend on them. That don't mean they'll be there. That don't mean they'll show up. That don't mean they'll have your back. I've had to learn some hard lessons over the last few years. I've been in situations I didn't have no one to call on. I didn't have no one that picked up the phone and said, how you doing? Do you need anything? Are you okay? And I still got a big family. The big family still remain. But God is teaching me to put my trust in him. Because he said he will never leave nor forsake. He didn't say family. Because he know they would. He didn't say friends. Because he knew they would. He said he will never leave nor forsake. And we get upset with family because they're not being gods in our life. God didn't say family wouldn't. He didn't say friends wouldn't. He said he wouldn't. And I'm now in a position where all I have is him. He's all I have to trust, to lean on, depend on, to call on, to cry to vent to. That's it. But he's been faithful. He's been faithful. To follow Christ is to renounce all lesser loyalties. There can be no following without a previous forsaken. There's some things you got to walk away from. There are some things you're going to have to let go of. There's some things and people you're going to have to forsake. There are people and things you can no longer be loyal to. God is taking you from what's familiar. Because he wants to employ you. He wants to take care of you. He wants to put you in those rooms that many said you would never be in. He wants to open doors for you that they said would never be open to you. He wants to take you places that people said you would never go because they knew you personally. They knew your status. They knew where you worked. And God will send you somewhere where they'll say, now I know she couldn't have went there on that job. But when you are employed by God, there is nothing or no one can get in the way. Are you willing? To be a true follower of Christ? Because it's going to take renouncing and forsaking some things. It's going to cause you to shift your loyalty to Christ. Not many are ready for that, because it's going to go against the world system. It's going to go against what's familiar. It's going to go against the norm. You're going to stick out like a sore thumb. You're going to be talked about. You're going to be judged. You're going to be persecuted. Are you ready? Can you take the heat? Can you take being thrown in the furnace? Can you take that heat being turned up as high as it can go? Can you still stand? Job, I'm going to read this prayer and I'm out of here. Job didn't charge God foolishly, although the wife said, this is what you need to do. You need to just curse God and just die. He said, woman, you talking foolish. Naked I came in this world, naked I'm going out of here. Naked I came in this world. Naked I'm going out. And I know it's hard for you to say that naked you came and naked you going, but I'll say it for you. I know it's a little hard. Because you got certificates and you got degrees and you got influence and you done been in some important rooms and stood among some important people. So I know it's hard to say naked I came and naked I'm going out. So I will say it for you. Naked you came in this world and naked you will go out. I don't want anything. I won't allow anything of this world that will make me walk away sorrowful and miss the kingdom. I don't know about you. I don't know what God is asking you to do. I don't know how God is asking you to move. I don't know what God is asking you to forsake. But whatever it is, obey. Simply obey. You don't know what God is saving you from. You don't know what he's protecting you from. You don't know where he's trying to take you. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Here's the prayer. Father, help me stand firm and not allow anything to move me as I seek to serve you and to help other people. In Jesus' name, amen. Remember, following him, following Christ, is to renounce all lesser loyalties. And there can be no following without a previous forsaking. But following him, it pays off. Peter and them, he gained more when he simply obeyed God. So much overflow, more than what he needed, more than what he could even use. The boat began to sink. All the nets was full. They had to call others to help them carry the net. Will you simply obey him? Will you simply go when he tells you to go? Will you simply move when he tells you to move? You have been toiling, and you haven't gotten anywhere. The toiling is not like it used to be, because God is calling you higher. God is interfering with your environment. Stand firm. Stand firm. God is calling you and I to stand firm. We don't know what 2024 is going to be. We don't know what jobs are still going to be standing. We don't know what the government's going to do. They're going to do what they're going to do, and God going to do what he's going to do. But God is trying to get people's attention because so many people is so connected to this world that they don't even trust him. Don't be disobedient. It's going to be tough in the beginning. God understands that. But he's going to reward you for your obedience. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for hanging in there. I don't even know how long I've been on here. I wish it would tell me, but it doesn't, because I would probably try to cut it down, but I don't know. But to God be the glory. I pray that something was said that will cause you to look at your situation and you say, well, Yolanda, this was for me. God has been asking me to do this. God has been asking me to do that. God has been asking me to move here. God has been asking me to let go of that. But I just didn't have the strength. I just didn't have the encouragement that I needed to make that step. This was for me. And now I'm going to take what I just heard and I'm going to put it into action. I'm going to write that letter of recognition, let them know, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, but I gotta go. Whatever God is asking you to do, don't let another day, another moment, another second, another minute, another year, another month pass you by. Because when you do, you will stay in the same place. Nothing will change until you obey God. Nothing happened for Peter. Nothing wouldn't have even happened for Peter if he didn't obey. It was when he obeyed. It's when he seen overflow. It's when he seen more than enough. You don't need to know where it's going to come from. You don't need to know how it's going to come. God has already prepared the way. All you have to do is be obedient and stand firm. And don't allow fear, don't allow people, don't allow your influence, your title to stop you from obeying God. God has greater for you, and you won't have to toil for it. Blessings to everyone. Speak life. Speak life over yourself, over your friends, over your foes, over your family. Those that gave up on you, pushed you aside. They said you'll never amount to anything. They said you'll never go anywhere. They said you'll never make it out. They said you'll never make it through. They said you'll always be an alcoholic. They said you'll always be a drug addict. They said you'll always be a prostitute. They said you'll be many things that God didn't speak about you. What did God say about you? He said that you was beautifully and wonderfully made. He said that you're the head and not the tail. He said that you're above and not below. That's what he said. He said, I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord. It doesn't matter what mama said. It doesn't matter what daddy said. It doesn't matter what brother or sister said. It doesn't matter what the church member said. It doesn't matter what the people on your job said. It doesn't matter what your community said. It doesn't matter what your record said. What did God say? That's all that matters. I gotta go. If you just hopped on and you didn't catch this from the beginning, I urge you to go back and get this from the beginning. It's going to speak to you. And it's going to give you the strength to do what God has been instructing you to do. If you've been in a place where you just didn't understand what's going on, why is this one acting funny? Why is this one turning on me? Why is this one cutting up? Why is this door closing? What, God is saying it's time to move. It's time to go. And follow me. And stop the toiling. Everyone have an amazing day. And I pray everyone had the Christmas that was able to celebrate Christmas in the way that they wanted to celebrate. God is good. God is still good. Whether you had family or you didn't, God is still good. So I'm grateful this morning. I pray that you are grateful as well. Not because of what you received. Not because of what was under the tree. Because many didn't have a tree. Many didn't have anything underneath the tree. But we had what Jesus did on the cross. And we had to be grateful and thankful for that. That was what we had. That what was under our tree was what Jesus did. Jesus was my gift. That's what I received. His crucifixion. Not a sad story. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I had a moment because, I'm human just like the next person. I feel just like the next person. So I began to feel some type of way because not all families come together anymore and celebrate for real. But then God brought that encouraging word that it lifted my spirit. And I'm grateful because I know God is doing some marvelous things in my life. I don't know it all, but I know it's going to be big. It's going to be big. And I'm not going to have to worry about anyone saying, now she's acting funny, now she this, now she that. No, I'm just staying in my lane. And I'm just going to allow God to simply be God. God has been my all in all. He's been my provider. He's been my way maker. He's been my light in darkness. He's dried my tears. I don't know what he's been to you. I don't know what he's done for you. But when I say he's been my all in all, I can say that because I have experienced so much. See, some people just say it as a saying. It sounds good. It's part of a song. It's been my reality. Some things I had to walk through, I had to walk through by myself. But I'm grateful this morning. And I pray that you are grateful as well. God has got big things in store. There's a reason why you had to go last. There's a reason why you had to wait. There's a reason why you had to watch others. But your time is coming. Your moment is coming. Your day is coming. Your year is coming. Your season is coming. Your time is here. Just obey. Move in complete obedience. It doesn't have to make sense. I'm here to tell you it won't make sense. But move anyway. God is looking for his Noahs who is willing to build even though there's no rain. God is looking for the Noahs to walk away when others is saying, how you gonna make it? God is looking for his Noahs. I gotta go. Thanks again for just hanging out with your sister. I appreciate you. I see you, and God see you as well. Don't get weary in well doing. If you know you're doing well, don't be weary. Just keep obeying God. And before you know it, when you least expect it, you'll get that knock. Before you know it, you'll get that email. Before you know it, you'll get that phone call. But it's going to come with trust in him when you can't trace him. Everyone have a blessed day. Again, go back. If you didn't get the beginning, you got to have the beginning for it all to make sense.